Hello and welcome back to a new episode of the On Creations podcast. I'm Adela and I'm coming to you from Pretoria in South Africa. I've had a few false starts and I hope this one will be better. I'm just giggling by myself because it's really funny how I struggle to get the words out. So I'm not even going to try and say what I said in the previous podcast, previous tries, because it just doesn't want to come out correctly. It has been a while, so I'm going to just jump right in. I don't have a lot of works in progress, but I really want to show you what I've uh, finished in since I made the previous episode. The first one that I can show you is this little spring tea that I started after my last episode and finished. I started it on Spring Day, the 1st of September, and I finished it exactly 2 weeks later. And I also did work on other projects in between. So it actually just showed me how, if you just put your mind to it, that you can really knit yourself something for summer very easily and quite fast. I used Naughty Habit Merino singles. Um, the the two solid colors, I the one that the green, this green color, I just want to show you. I used everything. It's the one with a little bit that it's a tweed single, merino tweed single, and this is all that I have left of the 100 grams skein. And of the natural color in the tweed single, I've got more or less 50 grams left. And you can see the little nip, tweed nips in the yarn. It's also single. And then the other single that I used, the variegated one, it's also from Naughty Habit, and it's called Smarty Box. I had two skeins, but I only used one. It's very pretty. I love it. And I really used every last bit. This is all that I have left of one full skein. So then in total I used 2.5 skeins, about 250 grams for this tea, so you don't need that much. On my Facebook page, Yarn Creations, I gave quite a detailed description of how I knit this tea. I just freestyled it because I couldn't find anything looking like this. This is what I wanted it to look like, and I couldn't find a pattern. So I just started. That's the easiest way, is to just cast on and start, and if it doesn't work, you can rip it back and change things. But I think it worked out quite well. So I gave really detailed description of, I started with 140 stitches and I knitted a few rows of stockinette and then a moss stitch or linen stitch for the ribbing, and I did a few short rows. I think I did 3 sets of short rows because it's not that important for a summer tea that it has to come up much higher at the back, so that doesn't bother me that much. I really wanted a little bit of an open neckline for summer, and then I just did 4 row stripes and raglan increases. And I changed I always kept the variegated Smarty box, but I changed the green I think it's called robin's egg, and the natural. And yeah, I changed the stripe width to, I think, 3 rows each. This is 4 rows each, this is 3 rows each. And right at the bottom, I think I went to 2 rows each. And then I did the moss stitch ribbing again, and a few rows, I think 3 rows of stockinette. And the sleeves are also, I immediately did the moss stitch and the stockinette. And I really, I'm very happy with the fit. And I think I will wear it a lot. And I did do some increases for an A-line. And something else I did is I did, I think, 3 sets of short rows in the back before I did the bottom moss stitch border edge, or what you want to call it. I can't call it a ribbing because it's not rib. Just to make it a teeny little bit longer in the back. And I really like that style for a summer top. So I'm very happy with it, and I think I will definitely knit myself more of these to wear in summer, because it's definitely prettier than an ordinary t-shirt. And I feel very comfortable and very accomplished when I wear my own knitwear. And then the other big finished object is my striped sweater, but it's still wet. I finished it late last night, and I soaked it this morning and laid it outside to dry, but it's still quite wet. But I really wanted to show it to you today, and so that I can, when it's properly dried, I will put it away for summer, so that it's stowed away nicely in a container or something, so that the moths can't reach it. So I don't want to stretch it out too much because it's quite heavy while it's wet. It's not a heavy sweater at all, but while it's wet, it's any sweater that's wet can stretch out very easily. So I don't want that to happen with it. But I'm very happy with it. And the sleeves took me a while because I had to do 4 extra stripes. I did it in the same sequence that than the body, but I had to do 4 extra stripes for my long arms. And I also did the split hem, and I did the back a little bit longer than the front. I think the front is 12 rows and the back 16 rows, so not a lot longer. It smells like a wet sheep. So a lot of it I did already explain to you while I was knitting it. So I just wanted to show it to you now that it is done, and I'm very happy with it. And I think I will wear it a lot, but it's still very wet. But I really liked how the colors came out. I just want to put this somewhere that it will be where I can afterwards quickly go and put it outside for maybe another hour, and then it will definitely be dry. And then another big project. I really have quite a few finished objects today. So this is more what this episode will be about, is my linen stitch or moss stitch crochet blanket. is done, and I'm very, very happy with the result. I actually kept the stitch marker in because last time when I showed it, I was there at that little stitch marker. So I had quite a lot. I had this whole corner to finish. And I just did a very, very simple border with a row of single crochet and a row of um, 2 rows of half double crochet. After the first round of half double crochet, I turned around and went in the opposite direction. I like the texture and the little bit more structure that gives you. And then I did what I did for the very last round is um, 2 single crochet together. So I in the stitch 1 and 2 I did a single crochet 2 together, and then in stitch 2 and 3 I did a single crochet 2 together again. So there's in every stitch there's actually 2 is used 2 times, because if you don't do that it will definitely be too tight. So I used every stitch twice uh, for the single crochet 2 together, and that also gives a very nice reversible edging. So I'm all for plain borders because it's a very busy blanket. And it's really a very nice size actually for a nice lap blanket. And I'm really, really happy that this blanket is done now. It took me a while because the linen stitch is slower to do, but the fabric that it creates is my absolute favorite, and it's definitely the most perfect stitch for variegated yarns. So all in all, I'm very happy with this. And then there's still more. I had a lot of color spun cotton left from the color game that I showed a few episodes back, and I wanted to weave some hand towels with the cotton that is left. It took me a while because I warped, I think, 3.5 meters and 60 centimeters wide on my 70 centimeter knitter's loom, and it took me a while because it's to weave with cotton is a little bit um, how can I put it, more labor intensive, and you have to um, your warp must be a little bit tighter, and you must beat a little bit harder, but the end result is well worth it. I warp double through my 7.5 reed. So this is the one. So for this one, I also did the weft double. So this is like a basket weave. And it's really thick, and I think it will be very, very nice towels and very absorbent towels. So there you can see I just played with the colors when I walked. And on the same warp, the second towel I just wove with a single weft, and I just played with whatever was left um, on the shuttles. Oh, a little bit creased because they were folded up. The colors are definitely more vibrant. And then the third one, I got 3 quite big hand towels out of this warp. The whole time I also just random, but I did 2 weft picks per color, and I alternated that all the time, so it looks a little bit different. So I've got 3 very, very nice, very thick and sturdy hand towels. And I would love to make more because I think they make excellent gifts. And to give someone a towel like this, I wouldn't mind receiving a gift like that. So that is the hand towels that I wove. And finally, I think that is all. Oh, the other thing I want to show you that I can regard as a finished object is I recently bought a e-spinner, Ashford e-spinner, together with a yarny friend that's also passionate about yarn. And the e-spinner was at my house for quite a while. It still is. And I applied some singles, and I enjoyed it so much. I just can't stop playing. Um, the one fell. The first 2 I did was with Katja Darling. That's a single. It's I think about 60% merino and 40% polyamide. It's a single. I think there's more or less 400 meters on 100 gram. I used 2 different colors, and I just plied them together, and I think I've got about a double knit out of it. I think that's really pretty, and I really enjoy doing this. It's like a toy. You just want to keep on playing. And then I had uh, a little bit of leftover Linda's Treehouse merino lace singles, and I wanted to use them I wanted to ply them, so it was really leftover little bits, and I just plied with 2 of them, and then when the one was finished I just added another one, and I just made up some colors with it. So at the end I got 3 quite big skeins out of it. I've still got a lot to learn, but um, it's it's really fun. It's a lot of fun, and I can't wait to dive into my stash and find some more yarn that I can ply. So that is, I also record this as finished objects. I think I'm going to weave with them, but I've got an idea of warping with something, maybe a black yarn, but not too thick, maybe also a fingering, because this is also now I think a sport weight, more or less, between a sport weight and a fingering. So I want to warp with one color and then weave with these yarns. I think it will look very pretty. I can also warp with them because you can't warp with a single, but because these are plied, I can warp with them. So maybe, I don't know, maybe I should just use this for the warp and the weft. I might just do that. And something else, I don't know if you remember, I said that I skeined up quite a few one-of-a-kind yarns to ply super twist, and I used some of them to finish up my corner-to-corner blanket, crochet blanket. And then I tried a lot of different things. I crocheted with it, I knitted with it, and every time I thought, I think I've got the project I want to do with it, and then 2 days later I changed my mind. So at the end I wove 2 panels with it, and I'm still not sure what I'm going to do with it. I'm actually busy weaving a third panel, but I struggled a lot to get the colors to match up, because I used all the yarn in these two, so I haven't got more of these skeins left that's in these 2 panels. So I had to create a new color combination that will match these. So I will see when that panel is done, I will see what I'm going to do with it, but it hasn't been washed yet. I can just show it to you. Came out quite pretty. And this is the second panel. They are more or less the same, and they are about 140 centimeters long, and I think about 40 centimeters wide. Yeah, I think I warped 45 centimeters, but I did shrink up a little bit. So I will just see, maybe next time I'll have something to show to you. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure what I should do with it. And then just one other project that I'm busy with. Some of the works in progress that I showed you last time, I didn't work on them at all, I think, because I knitted this spring tee, and I wanted to finish my striped sweater before it gets too hot, and I wanted to finish my corner to corner linen stitch blanket before it gets too hot. So there's some projects that I showed you that I haven't really given any attention in the past 3-4 weeks. But what I have done and started since last is a pair of socks. The one is done. There's because I'm doing 2 row stripes, there's a little bit of a line there where I carry up the colors, but I think once it's washed and blocked, I don't think it will be noticeable. I cast it on 66 stitches, so that I can do a knit 2, pull 1, and then every 5th row I did a twisted stitch where you just twist the 2 stitches, so it looks like a little mock cable. And then I'm using Naughty Habit Twinsies. It's I actually traded with a friend, so this is actually more or less like the share a pair, because in a little box there's two of the same color, but I traded with one of my friends, so I have these two, so they go from light to dark. So the first sock I started with this teal turquoise color, and then I did the stripes, and I did the heel with this mauvey color, and then my ordinary heel flap and gusset, and then I did the toe, the umbrella toe from Kay Jones again with the same color. So you can see it has it's gone slightly lighter, and the mauvey color has gone slightly darker. And for the second sock, I've switched how I use the colors. I'm still busy with the second one. There I started with the mauvey color on the where I started the first sock with the lightest edge. I'm starting this one at the darkest point, and then the turquoise color at the lightest end. So I've just did my heel flap and heel turn and picked up stitches for my gusset, and it's once again in my Chiagu twist lace. Twist red lace interchangeable needles. I have one of these little labels here because I always forget the correct name, because there is Chiagu red lace sock needles that are not interchangeable, and the cable of the fixed sock needles are a little bit thicker than this cable. But this is my favorite needles to knit socks with, and I like the long ones because I knit English style. I always buy the longest. I think they are 13 centimeters. So I think this is definitely what I'm going to work on now until they are finished. And then I've already have my yarn ready for my next summer top. I want to knit in a cotton. Next time, definitely, I'm sure next time, if it's a success, if it works out, the pattern and the yarn, I will definitely have something to show there. So I think for today, this is all I'm going to share with you, and I think that's quite enough. Yes, so I really hope next week I'm going to Remhoogte for 5 days for a weaving workshop with Glynis Brooke. She's coming from Hoedspruit again, and we have a lovely time at Remhoogte with Sharon and Max. And Max makes us some delicious food for lunch and for dinner, and we just have to weave. That's all we do. So I'm really looking forward to that, and I'm going to learn some new techniques, and I'll definitely show it to you then after I've been back from Remhoogte. When I do my next episode, I will then have something to show you, that something new that I've learned from Glynis. So for today, I think that is where I'm going to leave you. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope to see you sooner than for this episode. Have a lovely week. Bye-bye.